How can JavaScript Fetch API work offline? Imagine browsing a website and suddenly losing internet connection. You still want to see your data, right? That's where making API calls with Fetch and offline tech come into play. Usually, Fetch needs a network to work. It sends requests to servers and waits for responses. Without internet, Fetch just can't reach out. But with some clever tools, you can make your web app work even when offline. The secret lies in combining Fetch with browser features like service workers and cache storage. A service worker is a special JavaScript file that runs separately from your main web page. It can listen for Fetch events and decide how to respond. When you install a service worker, you can tell it to save certain data and assets in the browser's cache. This cache acts like a local storage of responses. When your app is online, the service worker can fetch fresh data from the server and update the cache. But if you go offline, it can serve the saved data from the cache instead. This way, Fetch calls don't fail, they get data from local storage. You can set up different cache strategies. For example, cache first means your app checks the cache first and only fetches from the network if needed. This is great for static data or assets that don't change often. Another strategy is network first, where your app tries to get the latest data from the server first. If the network isn't available, it falls back to the cache. This is good for dynamic data that needs to be current. For more advanced offline features, you can use the background sync API. It queues requests like from submissions or updates and sends them once the device is back online. The background fetch API can also help download large files in the background and resume if interrupted. To make all this happen, you start by registering a service worker in your web app. During its installation, you cache important assets and API responses. Then, in the fetch event handler, you check if the user is offline. If so, you respond with cached data. You can also update your cache regularly to keep data fresh. For requests that change data, like posting new info, you can queue them with background sync so they go through once the connection is restored. This setup allows your web app to serve data even without internet, making it feel seamless and reliable. It's a key part of building progressive web applications that work well both online and offline. So, while Fetch itself can't work offline alone, combining it with service workers, cache storage, and background sync makes offline data fetching possible. That's how you turn a simple API call into a smart, offline-capable feature.